All right, it's Friday, October 31st, just following up on the SPY. Decided to take base hit gains on this one and continue to watch it. I described early on how I bought calls down here looking for a red to green move. We got that. We were heading up here towards the highs of the day. I scaled down, set up an overage trade, and then when we kind of came down to my entry price, I just wanted to exit and continue to watch it. The structure is a little tricky. You know, it's not like we're breaking above the first bar high, the pre-market highs for a strong up day. It's not as if we have a two-up day to really follow through higher today. We're just inside of yesterday. We just happen to be near the top of the range. And price action's a little choppy here to start. So it almost looks like we want to come down and take out the lows of the day. Liquidity, at that point, if that should happen, we're still above the midpoint of the prior day, which is red. So there can still be a move lower. And to close the week, we're trying to kind of have a shooter bar, which would be more likely than not you try to follow through lower into next week. So a lot of cross currents here at a kind of a pivotal area, but at least in terms of a trade, I bought those calls, you know, to see if we'd head higher at 675 calls at 1128, scaled out at 1225, over about a point higher, and then I exited the rest at 1144. So a little small gain overall. And now I get to watch it a little bit. The aggressive play would be to buy, puts here and see if we take out the lows of the day and see if we can kind of get through, the midpoint of the prior day. And maybe after that red bar, we're going to work to the bottom of the range and close with a shooter bar this week and then, project lower into next week. There's still a gap to fill between the high of this bar and whatever the low of this week is going to be. So, the tone's a little bit negative here, but we're above the midpoint of the prior day. So, and yesterday up until the very end of the day, it was very choppy in this area, and that's where we are right now. So there could be, it's just tough to really have a strong sense of what may happen other than just following the way price action's unfolding. And at least for the moment, you think maybe we want to take out the lows of the day and see what happens at that pivot point. So let's just continue to watch the SPY, and it'll be I think clearer into next week, depending how this weekly bar closes and where we try to go into next week. Also, if we try to head lower into next week, you almost expect a little support in here into this gap, and you could look for some failures lower that eventually head higher, but that might take a few days to form. But we still don't know what's developing here by the end of the week, so let's just see how today closes. And at the moment we are heading a little bit lower.